What's up everyone? So after trying out Valheim this week, I'm blown away by how polished and fun it is. The visual and audio aesthetics are amazing, the combat is fun and challenging, and the resource and crafting system is really intuitive and respectful of player time. All of this comes wrapped in a really cool story as well. It's currently in early access and on sale for $20 USD, which is an absolute steal at about half of what its price will be on full release, so I highly recommend grabbing it before then. If you're interested, you can find the link in the video description. Since I've been enjoying it so much, I wanted to start making content for it as well. It's a little different from other survival games, so I figured what better way to start than with some tips for getting started. Let's get into it. Number 1. Make a small outpost by the stone circle where you spawn. To do this quickly, gather materials to make an axe for gathering wood and a hammer for building structures. At minimum, your outpost will need 3 things. A fire to give the rested buff and keep you warm, a workbench to build shelter and furniture, and a bed to rest and set your respawn point in case you die. Now if you're new to survival games, I'd also recommend crafting a spit roast to cook meat and a chest to store items so you can spend some additional time here to get your bearings. Otherwise, you can go ahead and skip those 2. Now let me explain why it's important to make an outpost here specifically. The stone circle spawn is right at the center of your world. As you fight bosses throughout the game, they're located further and further from the center. When you defeat them, you'll need to return here to sacrifice their trophies in order to gain their ancient powers. Once you can craft portals, you'll want to set one up from here to one of your main bases. Now a quick side note, when you build any home, make sure it has some sort of hole that smoke can escape through. Otherwise, the smoke from your fire will suffocate and kill you. Number 2. Craft a club and a buckler and learn how to parry. The wooden club and wooden buckler are a solid combat set to use until you can craft metal gear later on. For parrying, you can block an enemy's attack right as it lands to trigger a perfect block and stun them for a moment. Landing an attack immediately after a perfect block is called a parry and results in a powerful critical hit, making it really useful to get the hang of early on. Parrying is vital to learn if you want to efficiently fight strong mobs in later game. Lastly, more powerful enemies will need a more powerful shield or weapon to block their attack, so don't expect to block a troll with your bare fists. Number 3. Understanding food. In Valheim, eating food gives you temporary increases to health and stamina. You can get by with small increases from mushrooms and berries, but as you progress you'll need better options like meat and soups to further increase your limits. A quick tip for spit roasts, you can double up on them by placing 2 spit roasts over a single fire, saving space and a ton of time when you cook. Number 4. Build in the Meadows. Meadow biomes contain all of the basic necessities needed for a good starting base. First off, they're abundant in wood and rock for building. Second, they're filled with boar and deer, meaning you'll have a consistent food source. Lastly, they often share a border with black forest biomes, which are a great place to find early dungeons, ores, and higher tiers of wood. Number 5. Mark everything on your map. I cannot stress this enough, mark everything. While exploring, let's say you come across an area or a dungeon that you're not quite prepared for, or maybe you find a massive ore deposit but your inventory is full. Not a problem, mark it on your map and come back when you're ready. The map system is an absolute lifesaver for a lot of situations. You can mark and label any area on your map to make navigation and return trips much easier, especially in the more treacherous areas of the game. Number 6. Dungeons and burial chambers. As you traverse the world, you'll find small dungeons and burial chambers. Once you're familiar with basic combat and food, you'll want to start raiding these for treasures and special items called surtling cores. These are a very important material used to craft vital structures like smelters and portals. And finally, number 7. Defeat the first boss ASAP. Defeating the first boss will allow you to craft your first pickaxe. With this, you can start mining ores to craft much stronger equipment like bronze armor and tools that will be vital for progressing and taking on more difficult areas. That's it for the video, but hopefully this will help you get started whether you're new to Valheim or survival games altogether. As always, liking the video and leaving feedback in the comments is the best way to let me know how you feel about my content. Catch you later, Guardians.